Good afternoon, children. In the last class, previous class, we saw the first half of the poem, Our Casuarina Tree by Dorodutt. I told you it is an autobiographical poem, a reminiscence of childhood memories. So, where we stopped, I love this tree, Casuarina tree, not because of its glorious appearance or magnificent appearance, but because we played underneath the tree. Okay, the siblings and our friends, played underneath the Casuarina tree. So, the tree is so near to my heart. I love this tree, very much because we played underneath the tree, not because of its glorious appearance. So that's where we stopped. Today I am going to take the next half of the poem. You have the lines and listen to the second half of the poem. Blent with your images, it shall arise in memory, till the hot tears blind my eyes. What is that dirge like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach? It's the tree's lament, an eerie speech that haply to the unknown land may reach. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, because I love you. Here she tells about the siblings, her friends. We all played underneath the Casuarina tree, so I loved that tree very much. Oh sweet companions, here she tells about the siblings, brother and sister and her friends. Loved with love intense. Love intense here with extreme love, maximum love. For your sake, because of you shall the tree be ever dear. Because of you, I love the tree. It is very close to my heart and soul. Blent with your images. Blent means imprinted. Your images are imprinted in my heart. So again it tells about the dear and near ones. Blent with your images, it shall arise. The tree shall arise in front of my eyes. Whenever I think about you, I think about the tree. In memory, it comes in my memory till the hot tears blind my eyes. So whenever I think about you, the tree comes in my mind and I cry. Till the hot tears here, she cries. She cries a lot till it blind my eyes, till the tears come to the edge of her eyes or brink of her eyes. What is the dirge like murmur that I hear? So whenever I think about you, I think about the tree. That time I hear a sound, a dirge. A dirge means a mourning sound, as if someone is crying. When I cry, when I think about the tree and when I think about the loved ones, when I cry, I hear the same mourning sound somewhere else. What is the dirge like? Dirge here, mourning sound, a lamenting sound, a sorrowful sound, like murmur that I hear somewhere. Like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. So here again a comparison, a simile. Like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. So here she tells about the sound of the lamenting sound of how the lamenting sound looks like or how it is heard. Like the sea. So when the waves of the sea, when it comes and touches a shingle beach. Shingle means single rock. Shingle means a single rock. So whenever it touches or whenever it comes and break or touches the single rock, what sound it produces? The same sound I hear. What is a dirge like murmur? A mourning sound, a lamenting sound I hear. That is like a sea, the waves of the sea breaking on a shingle beach. Shingle here, a rocky area. It is the tree's lament who is crying there. So whenever I am mourning, I can hear someone else also mourning along with me. It is none other than the tree, the casuarina tree. It is the tree's lament. Tree is also crying. Tree is also mourning. Tree is also thinking about us. It is the tree's lament and eerie speech. Eerie means here a giant, a ghost. So I told you this casuarina tree is a very big and strong tree, very tall, big and strong. And just imagine if such a tree speaks, how it looks like. It looks like a ghost speaking. Okay, a ghastly speech or a giant's speech or a ghostly speech. It is the tree's lament and eerie speech that haply to the unknown land may reach. The tree is lamenting, the tree is crying, the tree is giving a sorrowful speech that haply to the unknown land may reach. Haply means by any chance. Let my voice, let my sound, let it reach the poetess and my friends. That haply by any chance it would reach my friends. Friends here, the poetess Toradut, and a brother and sister and friends. That haply to the unknown land may reach. Why unknown? Now author is not in a native land. She has been put up in various places. She's doing her work in various places. So she's moving. So she's not in a native climate or native land. So the tree is thinking, let my sound, by any chance, it would reach poetess and other friends. Unknown, that happily to the unknown land may reach. Unknown, yet well known to the eye of faith. I have heard that wail far, far away. Unknown, yet well known. Unknown, yet well known. Maybe for others, this lamenting sound or mourning sound or the ghostly speech or sound given by the tree, maybe for others it is unknown. They cannot identify, they cannot recognize the sound of the tree. But it is known to me. I believe. Your faith here means I trust. Wholeheartedly I believe. My tree is lamenting. When I lament, when I cry, when I think about my friends, the tree is also lamenting. Here you can see it is personification. Unknown, yet well known to the eye of faith. Whoever believes, I believe my tree is speaking to me. Unknown, yet well known to the eye of faith. Whoever believes. I have heard that wail. Wail again, the lamenting sound, the sorrowful sound. Far, far away, whenever. Not only in my native, but wherever I am, put up with my job, I can hear that lamenting sound or wailing sound. I have heard that wail far, far away in distant lands by many a sheltered bay. So from here, from this line, in distant land by many a sheltered bay, from that line till when earth lay trance in a dreamless swoon, it tells about the various places where the poetess was put up. Put up means she was not in one place, she was not doing a job in one place. In various places she was taking a job. She was put up. So wherever she was put up, she can hear this wailing sound, lamenting sound of the tree. In distant lands by many a sheltered bay. Bay here well protected, near the beach. So maybe it may be near a beach or interior part of a country. Wherever I am put up, I hear the poetess. In distant lands by many a sheltered bay, when slumbered in his cave the water wraith. Slumbered means when I slept. Slumbered here, deep sleep, when I slept. So again it tells about a hailing, poetess hailing place, where she was put up, where she took a job. When slumbered in his cave, the water wraith here, big waves, the apparition. It is called as an apparition. It looks like a ghost. So she was working near many coastal areas. So she tells about the classic shore. When slumbered in his cave, the water wraith and the waves gently kiss the classic shore of France or Italy. So France and Italy only she worked. Not in India. okay, after her studies, she went to France and Italy, and she worked in various places near the, okay, many, okay, in coastal areas. So she tells about where she was put up, and wherever she was, she could hear the wailing or lamenting sound of the tree. Of France or Italy beneath the moon, when earth lay trance means, okay, in a dreamy condition, okay, so it tells about the beautiful appearance of the earth, so the beautiful places where she was put up. When earth lay trance in a dreamless swoon means hypnotized, okay, hypnotized, okay, or in a hypnotic way, okay, faint, okay, in a dreamless swoon. So wherever she was put up in France or Italy, wherever, okay, it tells about the, okay, the place where she was put up. When earth lay trance in a dreamless swoon, and every time the music rose, maybe this eerie speech, the trees lament or trees wail, maybe it is unknown to others. It may be a ghostly speech, okay, for others. Okay, it may be a rough voice for others. But for me, it is like music. And every time the music rose, before my inner vision rose a form sublime. So whenever I hear that I see in my inner vision, I can see this sublime here, the glorious appearance of the tree. Okay, glorious, okay, grand appearance of the tree. So whenever I hear the lamenting, okay, sound, so lamenting sound will not be so musical, but for authoress, for the poetess, it is very, okay, it is musical. And every time the music rose, before my inner vision rose, I could see, okay, a grand appearance, the appearance of the tree. My inner vision rose, a form sublime here, glorious, okay, grand appearance of the tree. Okay, thy form. What could I see there? Thy here, your form. Casuarina, tree, I can see you. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime. Prime here, childhood days. How I saw you in my prime days, in my childhood days, in my younger days. How I saw you in the same way. Okay, I was able to see, okay, see Casuarina tree, okay, wherever I was put up. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime here, childhood, okay, days. I saw thee in my own loud native clime. How I saw you, native clime means, okay, native land, native climate, my native place, okay, Bengal is my native place. So how I saw you, Casuarina tree, how I saw you in my childhood days, same way, okay, I was able to see you, okay, even when I was put up in various places of France or Italy. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loud native clime. Therefore, fain would consecrate a lay unto thy honor, tree, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for air repose. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Therefore, so finally, what the poetess wants to say, finally, therefore, fain would consecrate a lay. I want to do something for this tree. The tree should not die. Okay, the tree should be ever and ever the same. Okay, for that I should do something. So fain here eagerly would consecrate. Consecrate means, okay, I have to do something. Okay, I have to make this tree holy, immortal. Okay, to be ever and ever the same. Okay, it should have an eternal life. For that, what could I do? On my part? Therefore, fain would consecrate a lay amateur. Okay, I should honor the tree. For that, okay, I have to do something. Unto thy honor, thy here the tree. Okay, I have to do something. You should not die so easily. Okay, I should make this tree immortal. Unto thy honor, okay, tree, beloved of those. Okay, you are not only beloved, so loved by me. You are beloved to my friends, to my, okay, siblings, my brother and sister. Okay, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep. Now they are not alive. Okay, they are dead and gone. So blessed sleep here. Okay, they are no more. Okay, they are in, okay, deathbed. Okay, not deathbed, they died. Okay, who now in blessed sleep, they are no more. For a repose. So a repose means they are in a state of rest. Okay, they are no more. They are dead and gone. Okay, those people. Okay, so you are not only love. Okay, what a beloved one for me, but also for my beloved ones, my siblings and my friends. Who now in blessed sleep, for I repose, dearer than life to me, and alas, were they. Okay, you are very dear to me, and how you were dear to me, those people also very dear to me. Now they are no more. My siblings, my brother and sister, my friends, they are also very dear to my heart, very dear, dearer than life to me. You are dearer than life to me. Okay, so when I think about my friends and my siblings, okay, they are also very dear to me. Who now in blessed sleep for a repose, dearer than life to me. Alas, where they? Alas, why? Alas, it's a exclamatory. Alas, here they are no more. They are dead and gone. Okay, so something I have to do for the tree. Okay, you should not die. The tree should not die. I should make this tree immortalized. Okay. Mayest thou be numbered when my days are done. Okay, when my days are done. My days are done after my death. After my death. After poet's death. After my death. Okay, maybe you'll also live for a while. Okay, I told you the tree will also, they are not like other non-living things. They will also die one day. Mayest thou be numbered. The tree's fate, may be numbered. After I die, in a few years or few, months, you will also die. But that should not happen for my casuarina tree. Mayest thou be numbered. Thou be numbered, thou here, the tree, casuarina tree, your days may be counted. Mayest thou be numbered when my days are done. After my death, after Torodat's death, after poet's death, no one is going to look after you, no one is going to see you. But that should not happen to my casuarina tree. I should make something, I should make this tree holy, consecrate. I want to do something to make you immortalized. And again a comparison here. Mayest thou be numbered when my days are done with deathless trees. With deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. So a Borrowdale is a valley in England. It was again a beautiful, like deathless trees. Deathless trees here it mentioned to yew tree. Yew tree in Borrowdale. And this is the again a poem written by William Wordsworth. And there William Wordsworth immortalized the yew tree in Borrowdale. So when he immortalized the tree through his poem, the tree became immortalized. After so many years, after so many years also we read that poem, and in that way the tree the yew trees are immortalized. So like that with the deathless trees here, immortal trees, the yew trees, which was immortalized by William Wordsworth in his poem, like those in Borrowdale. I am going to immortalize you. That's the thing. Like those in Borrowdale. Borrowdale, I told you, a valley in England. It was in the edge of dying state. It was aging fast. It was in a dying state, and William Wordsworth immortalized the yew trees through his poem. With the deathless trees like those in Borrowdale, under whose awful branches lingered pale. Under whose awful branches lingered pale, it was almost in a dying state. It was aging fast. At that time, William Wordsworth, father of romantic poets, William Wordsworth, he immortalized the trees in Borrowdale. Under whose awful branches lingered pale, fear, trembling, hope, and death, the skeleton, and time, the shadow. These are the things ready to take away the life of the trees, not only human beings. So during this time, pandemic time, we are all in the fear of death. So we are seeing we are listening to so many deaths. So this is going to happen. one day or other for everyone. So, fear, trembling, hope, death, the skeleton, and time, the shadow. We are not going to be permanent in this world. One day we are going to die. Okay, our days are numbered. So we are always in the state of fear. Okay, trembling, hope. What is going to happen in near future? Okay, how my bleak future is going to look like. So in this these are the things that comes in our mind. Okay, which makes us pale. Okay, fear, trembling, hope, death, the skeleton, time, the shadow. Time is going to kill us. Time is not going. We cannot ask time to stop. Okay, we cannot resist time or tide. And time, the shadow. And not only just for human beings, it's also for the tree. Tree is going to die one day. But that should not happen to my Casuarina tree. What I am going to do, I am going to immortalize the tree. Fear, trembling, hope, and death, the skeleton, and time, the shadow. And though weak the verse, it is ready. These are the things ready to take away the life of the tree, the beauty of the tree. So before that, I have to do something for my tree. I have to make this tree eternal, long lasting in the minds of the people. And it can be done only through my poem. And that is how we got this poem, Our Casuarina Tree. Okay, that would see after so many years we are reading this poem. And time, the shadow, and though weak the verse, that would thy beauty feign. So I'm going to repeat. I'm going to rehearse here, repeat. I'm going to make it stand forever and ever. Your beauty, the grand appearance of the tree, the glorious appearance of the tree, the majestic appearance of the tree. This I'm going to rehearse, repeat it. Whenever they read this poem, again it will come the same way how they saw the Casuarina tree in their childhood days. That would thy beauty feign, O faint regards, may love defend thee. May love defend thee. Thee here, Casuarina tree. May love defend thee. Defend here, protect you. I am going to protect the tree, my Casuarina tree, our Casuarina tree, with my unflinching love. With my unflinching love. May love defend thee. Defend you, protect. I am going to protect the tree. I am not going to make this tree die. It is going to live, ever and ever. Eternal. So for that I have to do something. May love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Oblivions mean a state of forgetfulness. This is for everyone. One day we forget. We don't know what happened, during our childhood. I don't know what happened in my, first standard or fifth standard, what happened. Maybe, faintly I can remember something, but not fully. We don't know what. Everyone has this curse. Oblivion's curse means, a state of forgetfulness. So what I am going to do, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Everyone should remember you, out of love, unflinching love. Everyone should remember, and not that, you can be forgotten. I remember the tree out of my love, not that, it cannot be forgotten. I should protect you out of my unflinching love. So I told you this poem is again, it tells about the lasting friendship and the lost childhood. Childhood days are lost, but the friendship is lasting for ever and ever. Ever and ever. So read the poem, and understand. Any doubt you can ask me. Next link, I'll be giving the appreciation questions. Thank you, children.